Mr. President, yesterday I came to the floor with a very clear message for my Republican colleagues. A bill about combating human trafficking is no place for partisanship. It's not an opportunity to try to get a political victory for your base, and it absolutely should not be a vehicle for policies that would roll back a woman's right to make her own choices about her own body. Instead, a bill like the Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act should be focused only on protecting the rights and the safety and the health of survivors of sex trafficking who have faced truly extraordinary violence and hardship. I called on Republicans to work with Democrats, Mr. President, and ensure that this legislation gets back on track as the bipartisan effort it should be, by simply removing the provision that would expand the so-called Hyde Amendment, allowing politicians to interfere even more with the most deeply personal health decisions a woman can make. Mr. President, I am disappointed that so far my Republican colleagues have said no and continued to push for completely unnecessary fight over women's health. So today I'm back on the floor, joined by several of my Democratic colleagues, to tell the other side of the aisle that we are not taking no for an answer. We, Democratic women, believe a bill intended to help women should be about helping women, period. There is no reason for a political restriction on women's health in the Justice for Victims of Trafficking Act. Just like there wasn't a reason for Republicans to threaten a government shutdown over Planned Parenthood funding back in 2011 or try to jam through reproductive health riders on spending bills. The women senators who join us on the floor today have seen this kind of inappropriate, disappointing political stunts geared at rolling back women's rights before. And Republicans are not going to get the same response they've gotten every other time, not on our watch. Mr. President, right now, the ranking member of the Judiciary Committee is working on alternative legislation that would take out the divisive, harmful expansion of the Hyde Amendment and keep this effort focused on survivors who need support and deserve justice. So Democrats are laying out a path to keep this bill bipartisan and get it done. And I hope our Republican colleagues will reconsider the partisan approach they've taken and work with us. I hope they will think about why it just doesn't make sense to choose partisanship over trying to just address a truly horrific problem in our country, especially one that we have all agreed needs to be solved. And I hope that they will commit to putting the politics aside and join us to make this bill the bipartisan effort that we all hoped it would be. Thank you, Mr. President.